Hello, I'm Andy.
I'm Nancy.
Welcome back.
Yeah, rooster. Yesterday and the day before, I guess, between rain clouds, it rained most of the days, but I made this little box. This will hold a duplex outlet in it on top of the counter. And then I made this. This will be an extension to the back of one of the cabinets, and I'm going to put a duplex outlet in it here. I'm going to cut the hole for it now. I didn't want to cut the hole before. I just wanted all the strength I could for clamping and gluing it and screwing it together. Hello.
Hello. I like the way you fill out those pants.
Where are you at?
What?
Where are you at?
I was in the window.
Oh.
In the hallway.
I have a cutout for the box now. I'm going to add a brace to the back for the box so I can just screw it in right from the back. Have this scrap board here that's already cut to the same width as the rest of them. Am I recording? Yeah, I am. So I'll just add it to the back here. It should give me everything I need to hold that in place. I'm gonna have to make a cap for the back of this. Then I'm gonna trim this with some, so I didn't really want to round this over very much there. I did enough so I could get paint on it, but I'd like to have this front edge and this trimmed, even with something fairly thin. Probably got to put a cap on it first so I know that it sticks out beyond the cap. And I like to add the trim after I paint it. Make that job easier. Which is now's job.
Does anybody else have a cat that likes being petted while they eat? She comes inside and she won't eat unless she gets petted. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I stop? Do you want me to get you over here while you eat? Okay. I scratch over here.
It's all over myself. I should change. A little primer, it dries so fast. Can't even get back to it, it's already dry. Throw that in the shade. And I think that's going to do for this project for a few minutes. I'll probably let that dry for a good hour now that I got 2 coats of primer on it, and hit it with some sandpaper and get some paint on it. Really? I know when yesterday's sous vide was done.
It's a Phillips and a flat.
Oh,
One of each. And they're both pretty rusty.
that was quick. Let those dry and I'll put them on, start working on that tonight or tomorrow. That was way quicker than I thought it'd be, but that's cool. I didn't think it'd dry that fast either. I got too much work to do to talk to you. That didn't sound right. Hello. No. Yeah, Nancy's doing something over here you should probably see.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, you already got the old plate off.
Yeah. Hi.
One of each.
Harder to steal that way.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. There you go, little van. Look at you.
Boy, that feels strange.
Yes.
That feels really strange. Now we just gotta wash this and I can send it to Connor because you know he would love to have this.
Yeah. paid entirely too much money. I think it was like $45 or $50 for a 3-pack of these blades, but I've cut a ton with it and I'm still on the first blade. I'm gonna try cutting some steel with this one and seeing how it goes. Yeah, I'm happy. There, now I can actually move the couch all the way over. The couch was moved out like that, almost 2 inches because of that. Well, it's bolted to the floor. I ain't moving it today, but I'll be able to rebolt that cabinet down. It made noise for about 15 seconds like crazy. And the one flew from the tree behind the bus back into there. And then the two flew back that way a little. I thought stopped, but I came to find you.
So that's the second time they've been in the tree behind the bus then.
Yeah.
I can hear them, but I think they probably flew away. They're off that way. If that's them.
What I've decided here is the 2 Growatts are going on this steel panel. The steel panel's got 3/4 inch and 1/4 in the bottom and 3/4 inch in the top. I'm bolting the Growatt through this. These Growatts are quite heavy. I don't trust just self-drilling screws or, you know, whatever. I don't trust a normal old screw. I want a nut and a bolt holding these on, and which means I need to get to the back side. I also want some that was, I'm not worried about them catching on fire. They don't really get that warm, but they get warm enough. I thought the metal was a better backer than like the carpeting that was behind it, but I needed what's behind it and need to run wires behind it. So what I've decided to do was this. Oh, I bolted that on too tight. Let me listen to some music and get this unbolted, and I'll be right back.
12 seconds later.
Okay, I'm back. I have 3 bolts that hold this up. I already had this one out. And those go into nuts in the back of this brace that I have. The brace is bolted directly to the bus frame and screwed to the wall, but directly to the bus frame is what matters. I'm going to weld wing nuts onto the top of this, so I don't need to use a pliers or a wrench or that. I have this little clasp as a safety. I realize it's got to get moved to here. That's why I trimmed this board before I put it on, because once I put the front on here, there's no room for this. And this will allow me to access the rear, and it allows me to bolt it through, nut and bolt it all the way through without just relying on a wood screw. And then it allows me to run wires behind it. Also, this latch is basically just a safety latch. You don't have to put that on, it clips on pretty good. And then the 3 bolts are what holds it there when we're driving. I've got this one bolted on. I've got this one just screwed on with 2, and I got my marks in the bottom, so now I got to remove it and drill my holes and put it back on. This was a hard part on the other one. These want to kind of fall back, but by putting them in there loose like this, I should be able to get it hooked on there. This board gave me some issue too. Really, that board gave me all the issue. If that board wasn't on there, it wouldn't matter if they slid back a little. There we go. Kind of nice, the nuts pull into the wood and get it quite tight, and I have to hold it with a wrench or anything on the back. That looks pretty. My goal for today is to get this down here, and I'm just going to have it hooked back up to a power supply like I had it, and get the batteries hooked up to it, the solar panels hooked up to it. I'll have it hooked up to this power box once, I got to get Steve over here and help me. The inputs to this power box I got some questions on, and just rather have some help with someone who's done it 100 times. And I've got a couple circuits run. The rest of the circuits I just get to run one at a time. I always wanted my wires accessible, so kind of why I'm doing this at the end, and then I got some trim to put on afterwards. So, but we're getting there. It's feels like I'm more than halfway through on this 6-month project now. So it's been a little more than 6 months, but it feels like I'm more than halfway through now. So it's getting there. Feels good to be able to have some real power. I mean, we've been using real power for a few months now, and it's really the biggest thing that made the hugest. I should say that having a flushing toilet, when we first had a flushing toilet, was great again, and the dishwasher was great, and yeah, when we first had running water. It's a lot of firsts, I guess, we've had that have been pretty like, wow, I'm glad we got that again. But good power is going to be with real outlets everywhere in the bus is going to be one of them. I better get these heavy ass batteries unbolted, brought down here, and bolted back together. These look dangerous. Probably are somewhat dangerous. Probably should have fully removed them, but I have the batteries both turned off with the switches and by holding that little reset button down for like 3 or 4 seconds. So the recessed button would have to be held down for more than 3 seconds to turn them on, and that other switch would have to be flipped on. So they're safe. I gotta hook them all together now. And I'm supposed to be using a couple of bus bars. I don't know if I'm doing 3 or 4 of these batteries yet. I think we want a 4th. I don't have height for a 4th right here. I figure out what I got to do still for that. I mean, I got a lot of room in this bus. I got off track. What was I thinking about? Oh, that's what I was thinking about. Yeah, I don't want to buy a server rack until I know whether I should buy one for 3 of these batteries or 4 of these batteries. But man, we love these batteries. No, man, I can't work with. I don't know what. You should probably be looking at the back of my head doing any of this anyway. I don't know what I can do here. I don't know if I should be talking over Snoop anyway. You're just gonna have to trust me that I bolt them together. I'll show you when it's all done how it all looks. So, because there really isn't room for me, you, and these batteries in here right now. So, one of us has to go, and I don't think you're the one that's working hard. Come back in a couple minutes, and I'll show you a bolted together battery. Man, if I wish I had that snapping thing figured out, but man, I'm kind of scared. I don't have 2 pairs of underwear on. I'm outside, so I'm not going to do that right now, but maybe it would be a good snap. Think I should snap this one? Or should I do the work? I'm going to bolt this together and think about it.
Moments later.
Got them all bolted on loosely. I'll tighten all the bolts now, and I think I can squeeze you in there while I tighten them now that I got them all started. I don't know if you saw that or not, but I tried. It's a thought that counts, right? I've been thinking about it. I think I want to try this isn't the thing to try the snap on. There's not enough room in here. I get caught up in it myself, so get some cables run here. I don't mind counting the ugga-duggas for some things, but these connections, I think I want to feel how tight they are by hand. Oh, that's heavy. Bought a new pair of cables because I knew the Growatts, because with the second Growatt I needed a set of cables. My other cables were 4 feet long. These ones are 6 feet long. So I'm going to use them because I'm going to hook up the same Growatt I had hooked up before. I don't want to go through all the programming and everything on this one until I'm running this through with both of them in 220 and all that kind of fun stuff. I think this is $70 for this pair. So. Copper is not cheap. Of course, neither are electric bills. My idea was to have all these wires then run I'll show you on this one. All these wires run like straight through into here, so you just see these short little runs of wire, and that would look the nicest. Problem is then I'm sending it through the steel, and there's a chance of the wire chafing on that steel. I could probably drill the steel out and then drill the wood out that's behind it one size smaller, or I'm gonna have to get grommets for them all, which I don't have, and I'll have to. Grommets would probably be the right way to do it. And I do not have them, so I'm just going to hook it up in front of the steel and not drill the holes right now. And when I get the grommets, I will disconnect them from one end or the other and run it back through. Yeah, a 4-foot one went to work, so I mean, it could have from the bottom, but that's pushing it. I like it like this better. And even though I could use the black one as a 4-foot, you don't want to have two separate lengths. I have a hard time believing it makes much of a difference, but you buy them the same length, run them the same length, and it's not going to hurt anything to use them the same length. When we were in Minnesota, I built this, 10 gauge? This 50-foot 10 gauge cord for to hook up to the generator and then to the Growatt, so we could charge the Growatt much faster. Here it had the wrong style end, and I should buy the right end, but I haven't. I had a 15 amp end for it, so I just took the Growatt and turned the amperage down on the Growatt, and it's overkill for a cord, but days like today it doesn't matter, except I disconnected a couple hours ago when it was, I don't know what the batteries were at. I got them turned off, I can't tell. They were around 80, but we haven't plugged it in for quite a few days now. But we do plug it in once or twice a week for 2-3 hours when we plug it in, gets the batteries up, and then we unplug it and run off of the solar. The only thing we have right now running off of the power pole is our water heater. And yeah, like I said, once or twice a week for 2 or 3 hours we do have to charge with this. So that means we'd need the generator a few hours a week also. It'd be the same way. Well, it'd actually be a little bit less time because it'd be 30 amps, not 20 amps, but oh, I thought I turned you off. You're still here. Thanks for waiting for me. Is that Ashley? God, that's an ugly shirt. Mike's got to have some Viking shirt or something for you to put on over that thing. I'm off track again. What we've been using for power supply is just a surge protector. This thing tripped barely above 1500 watts, so that's about half the output of the Growatt, so we're never going to overdo the Growatt with one of these. I can't wait till we have everything hooked up properly, but this has been working since August quite well for us. I actually had 2 of these hooked up, but we only have one hooked up now. We've only used one. Haven't even used the second one since we were in Minnesota. Is the last time we used the second one, so one's all I'm going to hook up today. I'm going to put some music on that Nancy's guaranteed to edit out. Baby milk cereal. Power in, power out. 110, we got DC in, we got communications out. It's enough for me to get the fridge and freezer and that plug back in. It's the great music, isn't it? Nancy just doesn't have taste. I played this tape on a big old silver boombox till the tape popped. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. This doesn't fit through the hole drilled in the floor for the wire. The other end of it will, but get off me. The other end will, but it's connected to the Growatt, and that's behind the other connection. So I gotta disconnect the input, disconnect this, bring this upstairs, run the cord through the floor, and connect everything back up. At least I got a good beat for it. I am running out of daylight though. Wherever you can see the most light through here, right next to the duct, here will work best. See my finger? Yeah, I can't quite grab it yet, but I can see it. Oops, okay. A little bit more. I got it. Oh, there we go. That's probably enough. You can hook it back on the back of that thing like it was if you want. If you have to pull some up to do it, you can. I'm back. I don't know where you went. I got out of connections, reconnected the second time, and turned it on, you're gone. Realized that battery had died, but whatever. I'm back to it now. Now it's time to power up it. So what I have to do is I have to turn on the powers on the battery, and then turn on the little button on the battery power supply, and then that'll make it so it doesn't inrush current and damage the Growatt. Guess I just have to turn one on it. Yeah, we're at 80%, so I don't think I need to charge it tonight. I just got to get the solar hooked up before tomorrow and we'll be good to go. Oh, I got to shove the batteries over and bolt them down. How did I forget that? And I also need to build a shield around the batteries because that's closer to the washing machine than I really like, but it's only so many places I can put it. I also want to raise them up. Only needs to be raised up probably 3/4 of an inch. I could probably put a piece of 3/4 inch plywood the size of them below them, and that'd raise them up all it needs, and that'd support them just fine. They're heavy, all three of them together. I don't know what they weigh. 120, 130 pounds a piece maybe, and so yeah, probably 400 pounds of battery right there. Yeah, this is the part I'd normally skip. I'm like, oh, I'll bolt it down later. I'm not driving for 2 more weeks, which is true, but I'll do the solar tomorrow if I put it off. I may not bolt it down tomorrow if it gets dark and I get hungry and I have dinner and all of a sudden I put it off. I just came to the realization I should have built that base below it first and then set each individual battery on it. Now I get to put a board underneath a 400-pound battery. Whatever. I'll be able to tip it up and have Nancy slide it underneath and we'll get it taken care of. But beautiful skies today, beautiful weather today. The sun is setting. I've not worked as hard as I should have today, but it's Sunday. Who wants to work that hard on a Sunday? Not that it matters to me. Just a nice day. I should be working, but yeah, from this side, I'll give you a little look. There's one of the outlets I put in, and that's the water. That's a little closer than I like, but it is. I think I can put up a wall behind the battery and off the water. I think I'm going to be all right. Just put up a wall that, and then make sure it's caulked. And okay, this is going to work better than I thought actually. I'm not worried about the washing machine. If the washing machine leaks, it's going to leak out of the bottom. It's not going to leak through the side or out of the top. And that pipe needs securing still, but I'll probably just remove it for this travel if I don't figure out how I'm going to put it through the floor. I think that's where I'm going to call it for tonight. I got to run the solar wire. I don't know where I'm going to run that through the bus at. I don't like where I came in at, so I'm probably going to patch that hole and put it somewhere else. Maybe I'll still come in there. I don't know at this point, but either way, I still got to run the solar wire down, but I think I'm ready to have Steve come over and help me now. And that board, I got the white paint on it. I want to paint the edges black so you don't see the board once it's done, but that white paint was the thickest paint I owned, and it'll give the best initial coat and really only coat for the bottom and the part the battery actually sits on. But I'll paint the edges of it black tonight, and let's get the battery bolted down tomorrow and hook up the solar tomorrow. Oh, I gotta shave. The hair's getting out of control. Or do absolutely nothing and grow it back out to a ponytail like I'm 30 years old again. Oh yeah, and this would look really cool as a mustache with none of this, wouldn't it? Ooh, that get all seductively posed in front of these two batteries. Now I'm covering the batteries. I even got a pad if I do it here.